Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News. I'm your host, Brandon Hodge, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first news story is going to be about The Rock. So The Rock is now the new owner of the XFL, I guess, if you haven't heard. So he's not the full owner. I guess he went in with with a company or whatever, but he's a partial owner or whatever, and I guess he's going to be kind of leading the ideas and stuff. And The Rock has announced that the XFL, if you don't know what the XFL is, it's the Football League that Vince McMahon invented. He filed for bankruptcy. The Rock and this other company bought it together. So The Rock's announced it's coming back in 2022. This thing has been launched twice. It has failed both times. This most recent time was due, I guess, to the pandemic. Didn't really help the situation trying to launch a business during the pandemic. Was not a very good idea, but we can't see in the future sometimes, so it's hard to predict things like that, especially when it's just so random and something you never thought would really affect anything giant like that. But anyway, The Rock's announced they're going to give it a third and hopefully final try in 2022, and hopefully it does it a little bit better this time, with The Rock coming up with ideas and stuff like that. So we'll see where it goes. But The Rock has said the XFL is coming back in 2022. The next rumor is about Roman Reigns and I guess CM Punk as well. So Roman Reigns in some random interview was asked about CM Punk if he would have a match with CM Punk if it was right and it drew and people were into it and everyone wanted it really badly. And Roman basically said, and here's the thing about Roman, at this point we don't know what he actually thinks and what he's just saying because he's in character, because he's a heel right now, he's a bad guy, he just says stuff to say stuff, so we don't even know how he actually feels at this point. But basically, Roman Reigns was asked about the CM Punk situation, if he would ever have a match with him, if the conditions was right, Punk wanted to return, and people wanted it to happen. And he basically said, I don't like CM Punk, but if that's something people want, then I will definitely consider doing it, and I think maybe I need to slap him around a little bit to keep him in line or something like that. So he said something along the lines of that. So there you have it, if it'll ever happen. I mean, I think it's more up to CM Punk than it is to Reigns or any creative or anything like that, because Punk's, I think, is the main holdout here on a return, and I don't know Punk. I mean, ever since he left in 2015, it's been, hey, is he coming back this year? Next year? This year? Next year? And he's pretty solid that he has no desire to return. So who knows what could happen in the future? It is completely unpredictable. All right, the next rumor is about The Rock. So this one's also kind of about Roman Reigns. So it was from the same interview, I guess. Roman Reigns was asked, hey, The Rock, would you ever have a match with The Rock if the conditions were right? And basically Reigns said, it would be perfect. I don't think there's anyone else better in the WWE except myself to have a match with The Rock. That whole deal, they could build up a wonderful feud, we all know that. But basically, guys, like the Rock and Roman Reigns, that would be absolutely wonderful. But Reigns said that he needs to build up his character. He needs to be the ultimate bad guy, like on the same level as The Rock, as being a villain and a bad guy and a heel. He just wants to be on the same level, and then have The Rock come back and be that superhero that just kind of saves the WWE world and just swoops in and has the match with Roman Reigns. So, yeah, Roman basically said he has a lot of building up to do, a lot of work to do, but he does see it happening sometime in the future. Okay, the next news story is about Peyton Royce. So, Peyton Royce, I guess, is Vince's new chosen one or whatever, and it's just someone Vince sees a lot of potential and wants to kind of push to the moon at this point. But how does the locker room, how do her peers feel about her? The people backstage, the other wrestlers inside of the company, how do they feel? They actually are with Vince. They think Peyton Royce has really done wonderful work and are very supportive, and see her also as the next top star. So who knows where Peyton's going to go? But then to keep pushing her, I know a lot of people are saying, don't overlook Billie Kay, because Billie Kay, some people are saying, are even better. But let's just face it, everyone in the WWE, if they made it to the WWE, they're fairly good wrestlers. See, I like to always say that just to kind of be like, hey, it's okay, guys, you're all good wrestlers because you signed to the biggest wrestling company in the entire world. But then you kind of look at the Raw locker room and their history, and it's like, yeah, for the women's division, they've kind of just in the past had the reputation of just signing models who have never wrestled a day in their lives and just recruiting them into the WWE because they're pretty and then trying to teach them how to wrestle. So I can't really say that everyone in the WWE is a great wrestler, but if they were a wrestler before the WWE, or they actually got some intense, some very, very good training in NXT and the Performance Center and all that, they were trained properly and actually the time was put into it, then they are excellent wrestlers. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know. Let's just go to the next thing because I have no idea where I was going with that. The next rumor is also about another women's wrestler. This is Chelsea Green. So she's in NXT right now. There's been a rumor of a call-up for Chelsea Green for a while. By call-up, I mean, moving from NXT actually up to the main roster like Raw or SmackDown. And the WWE draft is actually taking place, I believe it's this Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it starts this Friday and it will be Monday as well. And the rumor is Chelsea Green will be one of the names called up from NXT and drafted up to Raw or SmackDown. We'll see where that goes. And something interesting, this has nothing to do with anything I was talking about, just an interesting thought, personal thought about the WWE Draft, is Dominik Mysterio. Dominik Mysterio may be drafted to like SmackDown or something, and maybe Ray will be on a different brand, so that'd be kind of interesting to see where they go with that. But at the same time, they are kind of in the midst of a storyline with his sister and him, so I don't know how that would work. They kind of all need to be the same brand right now, but at least for a future kind of thing, it would be cool if they could kind of split them up and Dominik could go out and be like his own guy and do his own thing. But who knows what the future will hold for them. Okay, the next story. So the next story, this one is, this is something I've been talking about for a very long time here on the channel. So I've been doing this news show for a very long time. This is actually the first episode in a little while because I took a break, tried a few different little things, and I'm going to keep doing those little other things. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to continue doing this show as well. But basically, I believe I was talking about this in like 2017, so it's going on 3 years now. So wrestlers have tattoos, right? A lot of wrestlers do have the tattoos. But here's the thing. The people who put the tattoos on the wrestlers are tattoo artists. They're artists. Artists have works of art that they just happen to be on a body or a canvas. The canvas for a tattoo artist is someone's body, right? But when they draw something, someone can't just rip it off and sell different versions of it, right? So does that apply to tattoos? So where I'm getting with this, and the main point and the main problem here was Randy Orton. So Randy Orton has a lot of tattoos, and one of his tattoo artists tried to claim that they own they own the work of art, they own his tattoos, and if those tattoos appear on TV or in video games, on merch or anything, the tattoo artist needs to be paid. They need a licensing fee, royalties, or whatever it may be. And that's something that's kind of like making people scratch their heads, because okay, you hire this tattoo artist, right? They put tattoos on your body, right? It's their work of art though, so they own it. So technically they own a part of your body, and you can't just put your body on TV without paying them. It's a really messy situation, which should make a lot of wrestlers rethink, or even actors rethink about putting the things on their body that are going to be visible on screen, because you may come into a situation like this where the artist is like, you have to pay me if you're going to be on TV. And that's a really scary thought. But apparently this has been brought to trial now. The WWE are going on trial right now for this, and they're going to try to win. But I believe so far I believe it was the Illinois court system or whatever has determined that this is a case. Like, there's a good possibility she will win and have to be paid and compensated, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But who knows where it's going to go. I'll keep you guys updated on the case, but at this point, it's been going for years. But this specific, I guess, lawsuit or whatever proper terminology it is, it's basically Randy Orton's tattoos appearing in the 2K game series is what she's going after at this point. So she wants like a licensing fee, I believe. So we'll see where it goes with that. But that's just a crazy concept. Like, a wrestler gets a tattoo on their own, doing their own thing on the person. Like, the person behind the character is getting a tattoo, but it just appears on screen because that person's playing the character. And yet they have to pay. So it's a very, very big, messy situation, but I will keep you guys posted as the situation progresses. Okay, the next story is about a name I haven't mentioned in a while. This one is about Lars Sullivan. That's a lot of people don't think I should be talking about that. A lot of people don't want to talk about him right now because he has had a risky, crazy, controversial past, to say the least, and I don't want to say a past, a present, and probably a future too. So there's a lot of things that I just don't want to get into. Hopefully we've all been briefed on the situation with Lars Sullivan. So he was supposed to be pushed, like a major push. He was supposed to have a WrestleMania match against John Cena, but they got canceled because he has social anxiety and doesn't want to do it. It's like, okay, if you have social anxiety that's so much that you can't do a WrestleMania match, then why are you a wrestler and why are you signed to WWE? I mean, I get it's a lot of pressure, but you gotta push yourself. You gotta get out of your comfort zone and all that other stuff. And I know it's hard. Like, I'm someone with social anxiety too, but you just gotta overcome it. You gotta find your own way. Everyone's different, but just to be given an opportunity like that and just have it, squandered, just wasted, it kind of sucks. But Lars Sullivan is still signed to the WWE nonetheless. And apparently, in recent creative meetings, his name has actually been coming up a lot. And they're actually trying to come up with some plans for him right now. So Lars Sullivan will be coming back. He will be doing something. But you see that whole social anxiety thing, and that's not even like the tip of the iceberg with the whole controversial stuff with Lars Sullivan, which gets to stuff not being like, oh, that really sexy as social anxiety. That's so horrible, to being like, Oh, no. He goes a lot deeper than that. Lars Sullivan's he's a horrible person. Yeah, he's a horrible person, so he should be fired, yeah. So that's what the majority of the wrestling fans who have been briefed on the situation have came to the conclusion of. But anyway, enough about Lars Sullivan. Apparently trying to come up with a plan. If I hear anything, I will keep you guys posted on that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the final news story, the final rumor, the final thing that we talk about inside of this video is going to be about RVD, Mr. Rob Van Dam. So that's a name I haven't said in a while here on the channel because he's been in other wrestling promotions, and I primarily talk about the WWE. So basically, he's been signed to Impact Wrestling. He's been signed to TNA for quite a while, but his contract is up. He has left TNA. He's left Impact Wrestling. He is a free agent. He can go anywhere in the world. In an interview recently, he was asked, "Hey Rob, would you consider going to WWE?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't count that out or anything. It could definitely happen with the way things go, and you never know what could happen. Maybe, just maybe, it won't happen. Or maybe, just maybe it will happen." And just kind of like a wait and see situation there. So RVD return, who knows? It's very possible that he could be back in the WWE or really any wrestling promotion on the entire planet, but we will just have to wait and see. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of WWE News Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll put up a video here somewhere, a link to the subscribe and all that good stuff here on screen. Also, leave me some feedback down below. I've loved hearing from you guys because unlike the WWE, I actually listen to my audience. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I am Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.